Among all the constellation, only 2 constellation, 27 constellation, 2 of them is given the title Thiru. Thiru means most auspicious. Thiruvadhirai and Thiruvanam. Thiruvanam is for Mahavishnu, most auspicious star for Mahavishnu. We call them Thiruvanam. That star, that constellation. You know what a constellation means? A constellation has thousands and thousands and thousands of stars, suns, that many, numerous suns. And the energy comes through that constellation to Earth. So on that day, if you think of Divine Mother, you get so much of benefit on that day. Only 2 days in a year, Thiruvadhirai and Thiruvanam. Today is Thiruvadhirai. Why it's so important? Mythology is, one day on this day, Adisesha, mythology is, Mahavishnu sits on Adisesha. It's symbolic. On that day, he sits. So Adisesha looked up and said, why you weigh so heavy today? What is so significant on this day? I'm not able to even carry you. He carries mythologically. Then Mahavishnu says, no, I am reveling in the creative dance by Shiva Bhagavan on this day. I'm watching it. I'm reveling on it. And the energy, you feel it, the difference in the weight. So he explained him. Then Adisesha said, can I see it by myself? Just by myself. He says, I'll show it to you, but I'll also choose another Siddha who is very devoted to me. His name is Dhruvapada, I think. He has supposed to have a lion's claws. Again, the mythology, all mythology have a meaning behind it. He used to get up early morning. The first flower which opens up, he wants to offer that to Shiva. So he climbs up. So doing it for so many eons, he has developed that class. So Vyagrapada means that. That's the mythological meaning. So I'll show it to both of you. So for them, he specially performed the dance. That is what we are watching. See how fortunate we are, that dance. And you know, this is scientific. If you go to Switzerland and see the CERN, you know what CERN is? The Hadron Collider, the God particle they're trying to find, they collide. That's a Hadron Collider. You know whose statue is there? Yeah, I'm talking about Switzerland and CERN, Nataraja, cosmic dancer. Because the persons who designed it, Oppenheimer was one of them, but they passed away. Oppenheimer is the father of atom bomb. He only designed the atom bomb. All the scientists, even that man in Chicago, what's the famous Nobel, all are Nobel laureate. Who is that? There is the tunnel is named after him in Chicago. He's a famous scientist. In Chicago, the tunnel they used for the atomic clash, splitting the atom. That's what they used. I don't know. Many of you remember, he was a Nobel laureate. Anyway, all of them realized there's one dance at the time of creation. That's what you call them, Big Bang or whatever you want to call it. That is the time creation started. So in CERN, they have Nataraja statue. So they figured out that dance is very symbolic. It shows many atomic functions, even the creation of boson. You know boson, the God particle, that's the smallest particle. As of now, there's much more smaller they'll find in the next 100,000 years, they'll find out. Ultimately, what they realize is there's no mass, it's pure consciousness. That becomes denser and denser, and then mass is created. As of now, boson is the smallest. God particle, they call it God particle. There's much more smaller. Ultimately, they realize there is no particle, it's all pure energy. That is Divine Mother, a pure consciousness which expanded and denser than the mass was created. Both are same. That is science, and they will figure it out soon. But now they come up to boson. You know why they called it boson? Bose was the scientist who realized it. So they called it boson. Like a neutron, all this muon, all the God particles, and they call it boson. So on this day, that creative dance, Shiva Bhagavan showed it to Adisesha. But Adisesha was in different form at that time. He was Patanjali. You know Patanjali? He came as Patanjali. He was given that position to be Yoga Sutra. You know, is the opposite? Patanjali. So he came as Patanjali and saw the dance. All this you have to know, so you'll get more out of it. These mythologies are not meaningless. They're very meaningful, they're very scientific. The more she shows us, she reveals to us. And that's the reason why you are here. I'm trying to explain to you because they are meaningful, they be mythological. So both Patanjali and Vyagrapata got to watch the cosmic dance. That's a representation of Nataraja. That is there in Switzerland at the entrance of CERN, which is a collider, Hadron Collider. That's the most powerful now. They'll find it bigger collider later on, and that will show more particles. Ultimately, they won't find any particle. They'll find pure consciousness. As the time goes on, they'll try to figure out what is smallest particle. They go keep it smaller and smaller. Then there is no particle, it's pure energy. Shiva Shakti. I use the word Shiva Shakti because there is no particle. Shiva and Shakti is same to me. This is the dance game. So today is the day he showed it to Patanjali, great soul. So all these mythological stories are very romantic, very meaningful, and very scientific. And today is the day he showed. And of course the dance is very meaningful. Every aspect of what Nataraja shows is very meaningful. And this day, and that constellation is a big constellation, Arudra. You know what Arudra is constellation in a scientific name? Betelgeuse. You heard of Betelgeuse? Betelgeuse is the furthest sun in our galaxy. In Milky Way, the furthest sun is Betelgeuse. That is Arudra. Why it's given importance? Because with the human eye, that's the furthest you can see. Beyond that is a different constellation, huge distance, unbelievable distance between them. And this constellation with thousands and thousands of stars are like a little light. Then you can imagine how mighty the universe would be. The huge, huge distances, trillion miles. And next to us is next galaxy, which is trillion miles. And the furthest sun we can see with the telescope or whatever means we have is Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is the furthest star in our galaxy. That is Arudra. So these rishis have figured out, can you imagine? They could see those things. We can't even see our own solar system. We are slowly moving step by step by step. Our backyard. Now we are looking at Mars, then we look at Saturn, then we look at we haven't even left our backyard. We think we are mighty beings, we know so much. We are looking at Rahu. Now, Rahu, Ketu are not even planets. They're power points, but they are energetic, they're very important. So Betelgeuse. Today, that's the star you can see, the furthest star we can see. Beyond that, we go to different galaxy. Our next galaxy. And that's 3 times as big as Milky Way. Milky Way is really a small galaxy, it's not a big galaxy. So today we have the blessedness to be able to see. Now you cannot see it, you need a most powerful telescope, but you can see it. How? With your Atman. If you know all this, today we are looking at Arudra because mentally we know what we are trying to see. So as soon as I realize, my Atman realizes, I'm looking at that star, from there he is giving us darshan. Shiva is giving darshan, which he gave it to Vyagrapata and Patanjali. On this day, we are blessed to be able to see it. How do we see it? Not with the eye, with the Atmic eye, third eye. So if you know all this mythology, then it makes sense to you. And it's pure science. There is Betelgeuse, that's the furthest star in our galaxy, and that's what you can. Beyond that, huge, huge difference. You cannot possibly, Atman probably, possibly. But he dances, he created it, and she is him. Shiva Shakti is him. So on this day, you think of all that, so your mind expands, and we realize that this is the way the creation started, and all the symbolism of Nataraja is beautiful, the symbolism. That's what she sang. All the symbolism she's singing in that song is very profound, profound song. So if you're aware of it, you know it. If you're not aware of this, you don't know it. Still, you have enough time to learn. Almost a million lifetime you have. So you have enough time. You don't have to rush. Your destiny, I don't know how long. Hopefully, those of you who are here, you must be close to the end point. You must have crossed many, many lifetimes. You're coming closer, so she has invited us to come on this day and show. When I was coming, I could see the moon. It just showed its face and disappeared because cloud. So I said, it's a gift she gave me to see the cosmos. And of course, the moon is very close to us. So these are all the background. On this day, you should think of Patanjali, think of Agarpata, think of Nataraja, what the symbolism is showed, why Mahavishnu was so eager to watch it. Okay, he's God, he's a protector, he's a maintainer. So he's equally powerful. But even for him, Shiva is bigger, higher, not bigger, because many deep, meaningful symbolism he shows in his dance. Because he is a destroyer. Without destruction, creation doesn't start. So without him, creation won't start. So he's the most important. Because the argument goes on forever. Who is superior? Technically he is, because he's the one who stops and then recreates. Without that stoppage, there's no recreation. That's the meaning behind why Mahavishnu, they're sitting there. What a wonderful representation Mother has given us on Adisesha. See the story I said, I'm looking at it. And all this wisdom, who gives there is standing Agastya Maharishi. He gives along with Lopamutra. They are the prime rishis and rishikas. Both are mighty rishis, Lopamutra and Mahari. So when I'm looking at it, all this goes on in my mind. And so much wisdom, so much knowledge comes because I'm aware of it. Why? He gives me a chance to come here today, so I think of it, otherwise I don't think of it. So awareness, awareness, awareness. So when she sings a song, she's aware. She goes deeper. She sings. So she gets experience. So basically it goes back into your Atman. The consciousness that creates. That's all you need. You don't need a very intelligent mind or anything. The consciousness and awareness and the knowledge. Most importantly, the grace. That's what gives us a chance for us to come here, to be aware of the importance of this galactic look. So these two are Thiruvadhirai and Thiruvanam. So Mahavishnu, that day is very important day for him. So all this is simple, but you have to be aware of it. So your third eye wakes up and you see many galaxies, many solar systems, which you cannot. We can't even see. Betelgeuse is the furthest in our galaxy. And that is Thiruvadhirai. See, meaningful. All are very scientific, very meaningful. Once she reveals it to us. And today she has revealed it to us. So today we got to watch what Patanjali and Vyagrapada watched, because Nataraja gave him special privilege to give a special performance for them. And we got to see them. Can you imagine how blessed we are, how kind she is, how much grace she has given us today by giving this all this information, which are very meaningful. And this constellation, 27 of them, they are huge. You can't imagine. Each constellation has thousands and thousands of stars, suns. And from that we came. From one of them, Sirius, probably, most likely we all came from Sirius. It's one of the constellations. How far? Huge. Our next galaxy is trillion miles, and we can't see anything from that galaxy with any of the things. But with the mind, third eye, we can see all of them, all the galaxies, where she came, how they came, how long they existed. You know, you look at this 14.5 billion years. That's nothing. Every day we invoke Sweta Varaha Kalpa, Manvantara. If you calculate, it's trillion miles. You're sitting in the universe, which is only 14 billion years. That means you have been in many universes to be able to survive trillion and go through the experience, the knowledge, the wisdom. All this is carried in that little mind of ours. If you are aware, how can you become aware? That grace of Divine Mother. That you have earned it. You don't come here just like that. She has invited us. She reminded me, reminded you to come on this day, sit in her house And think of all that. You can't imagine the kindness, the grace she has given us on this day, and the creative dance performed by Nataraja. He is the origin of all our creation. And all this is scientific, meaningful. That is the reason why they put it in Switzerland in front of CERN, the Hadron Collider, which is what going to answer many, many questions. As time goes on, they will find smaller and smaller. That means bigger and bigger tunnels. These tunnels create the speed of the clash. When they clash, you see the smallest particle. Am I right? You scientists and you understand what I'm saying. So it's a clash between particles. Higher speed, smallest particle when they clash against each other. That means you need the longest tunnel. The current one is the longest one in Switzerland. I think it's 28 miles or something. What's the name of the scientist in Chicago? He still didn't tell me.
I'll check.
They named that lab after him in Chicago. Nobel laureate. He was one of the atom founders with Oppenheimer, him, they are a big group of scientists, and the Manhattan Project, which was given to them to find the atomic weapon. That was the Manhattan Project. And he is the founder of that lab. And they named the lab after him in Chicago.
Okay.
Most famous lab. And he got Nobel Prize at that time. Oppenheimer was the father of atomic bomb. And when Oppenheimer saw it, he got to see it. The atomic explosion, the Manhattan Project in Arizona, he got to see it. When he saw it, the first thing he said was, "This is Nataraja's dance." The creative, destructive, whatever way you want to call it. So he said that is Nataraja. So that thing continues. And the Bose is the current smallest particle, boson. Okay, thank you.